Looks like Mercedes sent us a GLS to test. They have three basic models for this. At the beginning of the GLS 450, it has a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, putting out 375 horsepower, torque rating of 369, and a 0-60 time claimed 6.1 seconds. Starting price is $112,000, but with options can reach to $140,000. If you're a big spender, you have the top-of-the-line AMG GLS with a 4.0-liter V8, cranking out to 603 horsepower, torque rating of 627 foot-pounds, a 0-60 time of 4.2 seconds, but that will cost you from $145,000 to $190,000. Wow. This is the middle-of-the-road GLS 580. It has the same 4.0-liter V8, but with slightly less horsepower. This V8 has 510 horsepower, 538 pounds-feet of torque. It claims 0-60 time of 4.9 seconds. Fuel economy rating is 14 mpg in the city, 20 on the highway, and 16 overall. Wow, that's almost as much gas as I used in the 700 horsepower Dodge Hellcat. Even the 800 horsepower version. No, it's not a gas sipper. Hooked to a 9-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. So let's go to the office and take a look at the price sticker. So here's the base price, 112 big ones, and the total tab, which means we have a lot of options. Let's see, gray paint on the outside, leather on the inside, and some wood trim for $1,750, $1,370, and $160. Wow, $1,750 for paint. Well, last Mercedes I had was $3,500 for paint, so I guess we're getting off cheap. I'm just going to quickly scroll down at all the goodies we're getting and the prices. Safety ratings are not in yet, but for this price I would like to know where it's made. And here we go. Alabama, Buy American. And here's a spec sheet repeating what I mentioned earlier, and let's go down the comfort and convenience standard stuff. So here she is in person, so to speak. Nice looking rig, gets a lot of attention on the street. We have two Mercedes emblems to look at, so everybody will know what you're driving. One on the grill, one on the hood. Like you can't see the one on the grill, right? One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is take it out in the dark and see how the headlights perform and do a night drive. We already did that, posted that video on YouTube. We'll have a link for that at the end of this video, so you won't be missing anything. So you're getting two videos for the price of one free. The second thing we do is check and see if there's a spare tire. For this price tag, you would think so. None to be found. However, some of these do come with a spare if you pay extra money. It goes right in this little slot, and you say, well, how can a big tire fit down in there? You don't get a big tire, you get a small inflatable spare, one of those little donuts. A spare tire is offered, but you have to request it or be charged extra for it, which you can do through the dealer after sale, I guess. But we don't have one. That's why I have my big tire repair kit here. The big yellow box. And the third thing we do is check and see what type of tires we're getting, because a lot of manufacturers are putting cheap junkers on to save money, but these are nice Pirellis. 325/35-R29 on the rear. And 285/40R, I can't read the rest because of the mud. Let's just say slightly smaller on the front. As we saw on the price sheet, these 23 inches are optional. You got to pay big bucks extra for this, and they do look cool, but a wheeler tire this big usually has a way of destroying ride quality. We'll find out as we get to drive this. Let's talk about interior room. If you want to fold the second row seats down, these two electric buttons do that, like so. If you want to fold the third row, that's what these two buttons are for, like so. If you're loading the vehicle and want to lower the suspension, that's what this is for. Now, a lot of other testers have been telling us how much room this vehicle has inside. And if you fold the seats down, all of them all the way, yes, there's a lot of room in here. I forget the number. I think it was like 85 cubic feet or something like that. I don't know. But you can see there's plenty. But that's if everything is folded. With the seats raised, it's a different issue. Wonder how much weight these motors take. Now, if you want to haul a bunch of stuff with all the seats raised, you have some issues here, because if I was going on a quick camping trip, I'd put some tables normally in the slot between the first and second row seats, but you can't do that because of all the climate stuff sticking out. And the armrest, which of course can be folded back, but there just isn't enough room for large things up here. You have to lower the seats if you're hauling big stuff. That's just the way it is. This is designed more for passengers than cargo with the seats up. Nothing wrong with that, just the way it is. I do not like these side steps. If you're a real short person, you might. If you're going to step on these, your head sits way over the roof. If you don't step on these, then your pants drag on the edge here, and with all this mud and dirt gets on your pants. These might work for you, but not for me. And when you raise the second row seating, the front rows go all the way up to the dash, and now I can't get in, so we'll have to do something about that. By the way, most cars have the seat controls by the seat. These have them on the door, where I really think they're better placed. The glove box has lots of room, and some of these have a scent dispenser that goes in the slot here, which is really a perfume spray. And well, some of the scents are good, and some of the scents smell like a $2 whore. I shouldn't really be saying that, but it's true. I do not like this at all. Ugh. No thank you. I understand the Mercedes dealer has different scents you can buy. Maybe something else will work. This one isn't for me, so I had to disconnect that. You have the dynamic control. Gives you individual sport, comfort, or off-road mode. And a light show in the process. One word of warning: if you set this vehicle in the normal mode, it starts off in second gear from the stoplight, which kind of defeats the purpose of paying all that extra money for a 500 horsepower V8 engine. If you want to start off in first gear, you either have to put it in sport mode or individual mode and program the transmission to start off in first gear. A little bit of information for you. And we get a nice large info screen. You can use your finger to operate things, or use the touchpad, like so. Your choice. And yes, there are actually people who buy these vehicles and have no clue what this does. We do have a head-up display, which is slightly hard to see right now with the sun glaring, but it can be turned on or off. And here we have the volume control for the radio. Nice place to put it. Very simple controls for the climate system. Big change from previous Mercedes-Benz vehicles from years ago. They're finally getting it right. Shifters on the column. I don't have any complaints with that. It's out of the way. A very nice camera system. That's what I'm looking for. The full 360-degree view. And paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do, which is a stupid place to put them. Here they can be reached regardless of wheel position. Always at your fingertips. The way it should be. I know someone's going to send me an email telling me, well, Ferrari puts them on the steering column. They're wrong. They belong on the wheel. And there's another little switch a lot of people don't use right here. You have to use your finger. Then you get to choose the type of screen you would like. Let's pick off-road. There you go. Or the sport. That's pretty cool. And oh yeah, you can raise or lower the suspension. Just press this. The power steering has pretty good feel, although it is pretty obviously electric. Could be better. I did notice one oddball complaint in this vehicle. If you roll the window down, you reach speeds over 40 miles per hour, you get all this buffering, vibration, whooshing, like you get in the Toyota Supra. This was not made to be driven with the windows down unless you're creeping around in city traffic. Once you roll all the windows up, this is a very nice back road cruiser. Does pretty good on the highway as well. And this motor has lots of guts. Super premium fuel must be used though. Absolutely. And I think this is becoming my favorite gauge cluster. When climbing steep mountain grades like this, the engine has all the torque you'll ever need. And put in the sport mode, the suspension takes corners like a champ. Now let's talk about these giant 23-inch wheels and tires. One of the reasons I like sophisticated German cars because they have some of the best suspension designs on the planet. This vehicle certainly does, but these 23-inch clodhopper wheels and tires, they have a slight impact on ride quality. Right now I'm on a smooth surface, not an issue, but if you get on some rough pavement, the clump, 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 thump, thump, thump noises get very annoying after a while. There's really no reason to have these giant wheels and tires, aside from looks. I think I'd go for a slightly smaller diameter if it was my vehicle, but that's just me, maybe not you. In any case, the handling ability of this with the wide rubber is pretty great, and the brakes are fantastic. Take a lot to heat these up. Alright, we took a highway trip, 114 miles. It says we average 70 miles per hour, but that's misleading because we just pulled in the city and racked up some miles off the freeway. We're averaging around 75 miles per hour at least, but be that as it may, we got 19.4 mpg, pretty close to the 20 mpg claimed on the window sticker. Yep, there it is, 20 mpg claimed. I put some super duper high octane fuel in here to see if we can get a bit more performance fuel economy, and we'll put another 120 miles on and see how that works. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, so there shouldn't be much traffic, and leave the cruise control on. Hopefully not do much passing. That should give us a good number as well. So let's do it. Here you go, 7 miles of city driving, 110 miles of freeway driving, around 75 miles per hour. Maybe a wee bit more. 22.8 mpg. Can be done. And a lot better than what we did on the earlier trip. So what's my take on this Benz after a week of driving? Well, what can I tell you? It costs a lot of money and it's great to drive. That's about it. And if you want to see how it performs in the dark, here's our headlight test night drive video coming up. Just click on the link and watch.